Hey guys, Jen Graves here, and doing a video idea from one of my bestest chums, mates, all around superhero guy, talking about Otaku Mike. So he just did one on collection. It was basically like collection, no collection kind of thing, night to day. How it is if you lose it somehow, other things like that. So I asked him if he cared if I kind of used the idea and like swapped it around. So anyway, I decided to do mine. It's collection incoming attack, something like that. I'll figure it out when I make the thumbnail. Anyway though, I wanted to do a video on it. This is kind of like a personal video, just like Mike's. So I've never had to really get rid of anything in my collection, maybe just some odds and ends that I didn't exactly incorporate into my collection or whatever. But the whole thing of somebody telling you about your collection is what I'm getting at. Not saying who, if it's a member related to my family. It was somebody that was in my family, I will say that, but I won't tell you if it was an older love interest or a cousin or anything else like that. So you know, I don't want you guys to see somebody in a different light if it was, or you know, try and find this person and beat him up for Jen Graves if it wasn't. So anyway though, so in Mike's video, I already know the story, guys. We've talked about it multiple times with different things, because it is a fear that I would say a lot of us have, whether you know, you live somewhere where it has certain natural disasters. You know, those things happen all the time. Every place basically has one, or fear of something in that regard. But when it comes down to somebody wanting to force you to get rid of your collection and stuff, it's kind of a pain in the butt, we'll say that. So anyway, diving farther into this, so you guys know, when I started collecting, wasn't any big whoopsie or anything. You know, I went from 1 shelf to 2 shelves to 3 shelves to basically 5 shelves, and going from there, it just kept coming in and kept coming in. And I went from that many up to around 10 shelves like I have now. And you know, there were certain members, basically like of my family, love interest, different stuff like that, that basically told me that yes, that's childish. Those are basically comic books. You don't need to be collecting those anymore. You need to basically become an adult, do all this other stuff. And this went to the extent too, because they knew that I had a manga channel as well, a YouTube channel, and it went to the extent too that they tried to rip into my manga channel as well and tell me like, that's not what people do. Your manga channel, basically, people that do that stuff are all people that they basically live in their mother's basements. They're people that don't really have lives, all this other stuff, you know. Just a lot of empty words that they didn't have any basis behind, you know, and they knew too that I was going to have a child, and they also said that basically you just need to grow up. You have this collection, you could sell it off for money, you could do that, and basically like trips or whatever, you know, that selfish aspect of it. They're like, oh, you know, you could go on a really good trip, you could do all this, you know, you have so much potential with that, with selling off your collection and whatnot. And I was like, well, I really enjoy it. I don't know why I would sell it off, because if I did, I would just be wanting it back. You know, it's kind of a thing like that. Guys, I've been collecting since I was 14, and I can probably give you a majority of stuff of around what collections were during what time periods of my life, and what happened around them, what I felt, what it made me feel, all this other stuff. And so I totally felt like my collection was under attack. That's a good title. Maybe I should use that. You know, and it got to me, you know, mentally. There were different times when I was depressed. It didn't come out on the camera, because I'm one of those people that when it happens, you'll never know, unless I tell you straight up, hey, this is happening right now, or something like that. I'm a bit of an odd bird, I guess you could say. I don't like to throw my stuff on other people, so sometimes you can find some of this stuff that I'm talking about now on older videos, and it just kind of seems like I said it and I went over it, but you know, my boy Mike, I feel like I need to go more in depth for it, especially when you lay your stuff out on the line for that. I feel like people should do that in turn. So, but anyway, so we did that. I was told that, then I was told that basically, because that went away. Like, there were other people that were in it, you know, people that this person said, well, basically, you know, there's also couples, or I told them there were also couples that did stuff on there. And that was one of the other gripes, is like, you have you kind of have a significant other, like, you can't do part of this stuff either. And I was like, yeah, I understand that, but you realize there's so many couples that do stuff together on YouTube. And I was like, there's a lot of things that are out there that you can do. Well, then, you know, they also came in and did the whole child thing, like they did with Mike, saying, oh, well, you have a child, you basically have to grow up, all that other stuff. And then there were some people that I watched on MangaTube where their videos, you know, it wasn't exactly manga, it was something else, another subject that I like to learn about. And their child was as much a part of their channel as they were. You know, they actually did stuff with their child. Their child helped them out. Their child did stuff. And I was like, you know, well, how come these people are here and they have this many amount of subs or whatever? Like, it's uncanny that you say that stuff to me when there's other people out there doing it. So, you know, then I was kind of told, like, well, those people are selfish. They don't mean anything. They don't have quote-unquote families, because it's just them and the child. You know, they're not looking past it like, this lady could have a husband, or this a guy could have a wife. You know, they didn't look past that. They didn't look past relationships. They didn't look past, like, hey, some people actually incorporate their family into their videos more, i.e. me, a little bit, you know. But, you know, it went from there, it went to, oh, well, there's not people with families that do that, you know, so they got away from, you know, doing that to saying, oh, well, it's people don't have responsibilities. That's what it is. Those people are the ones getting to do it. Obviously, that's not true. We all have responsibilities. Some of us have more extreme, different responsibilities than other people. Some of us have ones that are easier and all this other stuff. We all have something, you know, a pet, a child, family, friends, you know, all this other stuff. Obviously, MangaTube isn't like all our life. And obviously we're doing it in the times of our life where we have time to do it. So it just baffled me that this person wanted to go that far and tell me that, everything. And, you know, I do have a lot of friends. I thought it was really good when it came out. You know, everybody that I'm on one of the casts with, Manga Club and the Dad Cast, you know, all of them kind of helped me shine light on this person too, or on these people, I guess. You know, on the relationship, we all have a relationship, and then it was like, well, none of those people have kids. Well, all of us basically have kids, you know, so there's just a bunch of different stuff. And what they said, I didn't think actually came to fruition with any of that, because that's what they believed. And for a little while, it was kind of this stuff that would pop up. And when it popped up, I'd say, well, what about this? Here's this. Here's, this person doing this, here's all this other stuff, here's people with schedules, and showed them basically the whole different thing of how many people had different ideas, schedules, people that did it randomly, you know, turn the camera on, turn, click, kind of that whole thing, you know, all the different stuff like that. And it was just kind of like this big thing. And basically, I fought so much about that, everything, that finding all the different manga tubers that did different stuff, it was kind of like, here's this, you know, let me rub it in your face that this person is able to do this. Here's somebody else that's closer to me, like we're almost on paper, we're basically the same. You know, here it is right here. Let me rub this in your face. It was kind of one of those things, like if you had a worst enemy, you know, obviously they weren't like my worst enemy, because obviously it was a family member or somebody that I still like had in my life at the time that was a friend or whatever. And you know, it was one of those times though where you just kind of felt like it would be really good to you know, Billy Madison, if you've watched that movie, light a bag of dog shit and put it on their porch and then laugh about it because they had to come step on it and got it all over their shoes or whatever, you know, stuff like that. That's kind of how it was, rubbing it in their faces. And I really like doing that. Now I think it's funny that the person, they still have comments like that, kind of. So I mean, it does wear me down at points, here and there, but they know other people that have huge collections also in the community besides me. So that's kind of another thing that opened their eyes to, I wasn't the only one that was like that. But showing it off and doing all that, they they like the different people that I've connected to in the community. They like the direction that I'm going. They like all this other stuff, but it took time. It was one of those things that was an eye-opener. And while I didn't get to the point where Otaku Mike did, where because I love this person, that I wanted to do everything for them, I still knew that I wanted to keep myself. And guys, like, you know, like this year, next year is going to be the year where, like, manga has been over 50% of my life, kind of deal. And you know, I didn't really want to back down from something that I had enjoyed that long. It was one of those things that actually, like, helped me with depression, you know, so it was kind of a double-edged sword for them. When they would do that, I would just read more, you know, stuff like that. I tried to turn everything that happened into a positive and go through it. There were a few times that I felt bad and all this other stuff, but you know, I always knew that I had a series to enjoy, or something to kind of look back on and actually pull me through whatever it was, or just read until it kind of, like, you know, went away. You know, sometimes, you know, like Mike said too, I did drink and stuff. Just from that, maybe it was like a hard day because the person had, like, every hour, like, sent me a text message, or if I saw them, tried to tell me something like that. You know, and really just whittle me down. Sometimes it happened, but then majority of the time I always had a manga, and I kind of just read, fell into the worlds and everything until the rest of it didn't really mean anything anymore. And you know, they knew that I wasn't going to be shaken, so all I really need them to do now is I guess still support it, you know, kind of like with the rest of my family. It's a problem because not a lot of people like to try and buy manga, even though I have a long list of stuff like, hey, you could buy this stuff, hook up with one of my other siblings or one of my other parents or something like that and do it, you know, but they just don't know. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope this was kind of a eye-opener, stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoy this video. It is one of those videos that I think actually makes part of the stuff better, because we get to know about other people. Mike's video, even though I knew about it, there was, every time we talk about it, I feel like there's a little something different that's added into it, and every time we do that, we get closer as friends. So same thing on here, you guys. We grow closer as stuff, because now I'm letting you guys know basically a little bit of my life, even though some of you guys probably know about it before, or I've kind of talked about it somewhere before, different stuff like that. But anyway, I am going to let you guys continue about your day, whatever you're doing. If you're watching this before you go to sleep, or if you're watching this in the morning to start your day, whatever it is, you know, comment down below. Kind of wish I had my hype squad on this one. Shout out my little sister, you know, because based off of Otaku Mike, she's my hype squad. So anyway, though, I hope this was kind of a little bit of an eye-opener, that if you're kind of going through the same thing, you enjoy your manga and somebody's trying to get you to do something, that you hold strong and basically get to do all that stuff unless you need to. You know, I don't feel like there's really a need to, unless you are a person that sells your manga, to actually chip into it unless you need to. and not to really let other people sway you from that. You know, it's good to take it into account. It's not good to do it without thinking, because obviously that's where that makes you feel like crap, and you know, stuff like that. So anyway, guys, I will catch y'all later. Like I said, go check out Otaku Mike's video. I hope I remember to put the link below. If not, I'm sure Otaku Mike will be in the comments. Anything, you'll be able to go watch his. We'll have basically close to the same titles, except mine is going to be Collection Under Attack, and Mike is Collection No something. I can't remember it right at this point. But anyway, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.